This video is about adding and subtracting with decimals. The big idea here is that you need to use place value to line things up. Let's start with a small basic problem. 3 and 25 hundredths plus 2 and 37 hundredths. As I said, the thing you want to keep in mind is that things have to be lined up according to place value. So you have your ones, your tenths, and your hundredths. And most importantly, you have your decimal points lined up. Because once you get going, the decimal point is going to sink to the bottom. Okay, so now we're just going to do our basic arithmetic. We're adding, so 5 plus 7 is 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 is 6. 3 plus 2 is 5. So the answer here is 5 and 62 hundredths, or 5.62. Our next one is a little bit more difficult. Again, I have two numbers that have decimals that I'm combining. And one thing I want you to notice is that this first one on the top goes out into the thousandths place. The one below it only goes to the hundredths. So I'm going to put a little 0 here as a placeholder. I want to double check that I have everything lined up. Ones, tenths, hundredths, and now thousandths. And again, there's my decimal points. I'm going to make sure that they sink to the bottom. And now I'm just going to do my addition. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 plus 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So my answer is 5 and 221 thousandths, or 5.221. Now, those were pretty simple. Let's try a subtraction problem. Here I have 28 and 236 thousandths minus 12 and 1 thousandths. So again, I think I have things pretty well lined up. I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to make my decimal points sink to the bottom. And then I'm going to do my math. 6 minus 1 is 5, 3 minus 0 is 3, 2 minus 0 is 2, 8 minus 2 is 6, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So here I have 16 and 235 thousandths, or 16.235. Now those were pretty simple. You could see that they were very nicely lined up. But sometimes you may get a problem where you have to combine things that don't match up very well. So here we've been asked to combine 1.7, 2.67, 0.135, and 0.6. 1 and 7 tenths, 2 and 67 hundredths, 135 thousandths, or 6 tenths. So I'm going to start with my 1.7, and then I'm going to do 2.6, and I'm going to make sure that things are lined up. So I'm going to put the 2 right beneath the 1, 6 and 7, and my decimal points are lined up. Here I'm going to put this in, 0.135, and the final one, 0.6. And I'm adding them because that's what combine means, is to add. And again, I have some empty patches here, so I think I'll fill them in with a placeholder just to keep myself in control. So zeros and zeros and 0 and 0, 0. Because, for instance, 6 tenths is the same as 600 thousandths. So now I'm just combining, so I'm going to do my math. 0, 0, 5, and 0 would be 5. 7 plus 3 is 10. Put the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 and 6 is 14. 15. 15 and 6 is 21. Put down the 1, carry the 2. 2 and 1 is 3, and 2 is 5. And there are all my decimal points. They're all going to sink to the bottom. So I'm going to end up with 5 and 105 thousandths, or 5.105. And I'm going to just quickly check this for reasonableness to make sure I did it right. So that's about 2, and that's pretty close to 3. So that would be about 5, and that's not much more, so I'll leave it at 5. 5.5, pretty close. I'll take that as an answer. That's a reasonable answer. So finally, what I want you to remember after all the things we talked about here, the big idea is to use place value to line things up, and that the decimal point falls all the way to the bottom. So it's part of the answer. And that's it for tonight.